Summer Session!
So yeah, I'm at the park, taking in that fresh air, just clearing my mind, doing a little bit of thinking, because if you're checking out this episode when it officially drops, then we are only just a few short days away from Father's Day. And that reality has really just got this single dad thinking, pondering, looking inside of himself, kind of breaking everything down. And so since I'm kind of in that state of mind, I figured it'd be good to get outside, to get in the elements, to get around a little nature. There's the trees blowing in the wind. I just saw a bird fly by at the speed of light. Is that Shaquille O'Neal? No, it was just a squirrel. But it's nice being outside and kind of just thinking about the fact that I am approaching, as a dad, yet another Father's Day. I actually just had my daughters call me this morning as they're with their mom at her house, just asking me like, hey dad, what is it that you want for Father's Day? Because they're excited to celebrate me. They love me. I know all of that stuff. It's going to be a fun time. We got like a barbecue and stuff planned with friends. It's going to be legit. But you know, as we're approaching yet another Father's Day, I really wanted to take this week leading up to it to just kind of check in with myself as a dad and kind of do a little breakdown, if you will. Because as a dad, as much as I love my kids and as much as they love me and as much as I try my best and I do the best I can and I stay on top of my game as much as I'm able to, the fact of the reality is that I'm not perfect. I don't have all of my crap figured out. I'm still going through my day-to-day learning things and still just putting all these puzzle pieces together. And that's just what it means to be a human, right? That's what it means to be a person. I'm never going to be perfect. I'm never going to have it all figured out. But that doesn't mean I can't strive to be better, to do better, to improve as a dad. And so that's what I want to do heading into this Father's Day 2024, is just look at a few things for myself that I can do better going into another year of fatherhood, just improving on as a pops, as an old man, right. And so I want to share like 3 of those things with you right now on the show. But just so you know, right off the jump, I'm not sharing these things to be all like, man, I suck as a single dad. I suck as a dad in general. I'm a piece of crap and I'm a failure, blah, blah, blah. Here's some things I need to do so I can stop sucking. It's not about that. It's about the fact that I think I'm doing a great job. I think my kids would say that. But there's always areas that I can improve on, and I would like to take this opportunity to kind of reflect on some of those things. So the first thing I want to improve on as a dad entering into yet another Father's Day is remembering and being okay with the fact that, spoiler alert, not everybody is going to like me. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that is okay. It's okay for me to show up, to be myself, to be Anthony, to be silly, to be goofy, to be a girl's dad, to be all of the things that I truly am, and be comfortable with that, and to know that it's okay if somebody hangs out with me, watches some of my content, kind of meets me out and about, and just decides, you know what, like, yeah, the Anthony guy, I just can't. And that's fine, because there was a point in my life where I would try to do everything in my power to be liked and accepted and be cool with everybody 24/7. And me saying this just mean like I'm gonna, show up and be a douche and be a jerk and all that. I'm just saying like, hey, like as far as me, Anthony, goes, I'm gonna show up and be me. And there might be people who are just like, yeah, I don't know, the vibes just weren't there. But again, there was a point in time where that terrified me and I hated that idea, and I had to figure out what other people's vibes were so I could show up and I could try to be the person I thought that they would want me to be, the type of dad they thought I should be. And that was exhausting, and that was shallow, and it didn't lead to a lot of healthy, fruitful relationships, to be honest. Like, sure, people would be like, oh yeah, that guy Anthony's cool because he showed up to be a certain person that he knew you would like, but these people never really got to know me, and I never really got to fully just enjoy being myself. And did you know that pizza, yeah, we're talking about pizza now, just stay with me, that pizza being the number one food in our country, the US of A, one of the most popular foods in the world. People love pizza. Did you know, according to the first bit of information that came up when I Googled this, that there's still like 2% of, let's just say, the United States. 2% of the United States does not like pizza whatsoever. 2% of the population. 98% of the people out there across the great US of A, they love pizza. They eat it probably breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But there's 2% of people out there who just like, you know what? I don't F with pizza. Pizza ain't for me. And you know what? That just goes to show. Doesn't matter what you are. It could be Anthony. You could be a slice of pizza. You could be the most amazing thing in the world. There's still going to be people out there who are just like, you know what? Not my preference. And that is okay. So I'm going to be like pizza. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be saucy, maybe a little cheesy, goofy, maybe a little spicy sometimes. And I'm going to say, hey, here's the Anthony pizza. If you like Anthony pizza, then come on over and get yourself a slice. But if not, then that's cool. That's fine. I'm still going to do me, because me doing me, showing up, being real, being authentic, I know is going to be what's best for me. And that's ultimately going to trickle down to what's best for my kids as I look to parent them with true authenticity. The second thing I want to live into this year is in the fact that I want to believe in myself with as much certainty as I have that I believe the sky is blue. This is part of why I wanted to record this session at the park. I know it might be a little windy, but I'm outside. I can literally see the blue sky right there. If you're watching the video version of this, I'm pointing right there, and it's blue. And so as much certainty that I can have in the fact that, you know, this whole thing's not like a simulation. I'm not like a brain into that being probed by scientists, and all the stuff I'm seeing and all my memories aren't being fed into me by little probes. I mean, I guess you can never say never and rule any of that out. Maybe aliens are projecting all of this into, I mean, I don't know. But with as much certainty as I can say that it's not any of those things, that I look up and the reality is that the sky is blue. That's how much certainty that I want to have in myself when it comes to my self-confidence, when it comes to my drive and my ambitions, when it comes to my parenting, when it comes to my ability to be a friend and family member and coworker, and all these things. I want to show up to myself and be like, Anthony, look at the sky. Is it blue? Are you certain? Well, with as much certainty as I can have, then great. When you look in the mirror, you have as much certainty as that when it comes to yourself and who you are and the things that you want to do. Because again, looking back at my past, there would be times where I would lack that confidence, when I wouldn't take risk or go talk to somebody or send an email or do this or that because I just, oh, well, I don't know. What if it doesn't work? What if, again, going back to point number one, what if they don't like me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I suck? What if they say no? Blah, 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 blah. And it probably cost me a lot of opportunities, a lot of getting to know some really cool people who would like and accept me. It just held me back a lot. And so this year, especially as my kids are getting older and they're watching me as they're forming who they are for themselves, and they're learning about confidence and boldness and ambition, and they're learning all that from me, I want them to be able to look at their dad and see that their dad, you know what? He's not afraid just to go for it. He's not afraid to have confidence and believe in himself. And that's okay if stuff he tries fails, if the things he goes for don't work out, if the email that he sent doesn't get responded to, if the person he tries to talk to doesn't want to talk to him back. That's cool, because at the end of the day, he's looking in the mirror and he believes in the person who's looking back at him with just as much confidence and certainty as he does when he looks at the sky and assesses that it's blue. I want them to see that in me, but more importantly, I want to have that in myself going forward in this year. And the last area that I truly do want to grow in as a dad is becoming somebody who is really good at slowing down and capturing those snapshot moments. What is a snapshot moment? Well, I don't know. I think I stole this from The Office, Pam and Jim's wedding episode, when they were getting married and they were talking about like, hey, like I want to remember this moment. So they did like the whole hand gesture, like they were taking a picture with a camera. So they would like put it in their brain like, hey, this moment's important. Let me slow down and let me basically take a mental picture so I can cherish this special time. They probably got that from somebody else from somewhere else, but I got it from The Office. So I've always liked that, and that's always stuck with me. And as we talk about on the show many times, as single parents, it's so easy to get caught up in the million bazillion trillion things that we have to do on the daily, sometimes even just to survive. And so it can be very easy to forget to slow down and take those mental snapshots because we're just trying to make it through the day. And then usually if you're like me, what you'll do is at the end of the day or at the end of the week, you'll look back at some of those moments and you'll be like, man, I wish I would have slowed down and cherished those moments, just even if it's just for a second or two more than I actually did. So a quick example, last weekend, me and the girls were hanging out, just got back from dinner. We're trying to do a movie night. We're kicking it and whatever. And Maddie, my younger daughter, hears that it's raining outside. So she opens the door and she's like, Dad, pause the movie. It's raining. It's also like summertime vibes. So it's like raining, but it's warm. So she was like, hey, Dad, we're going to go out and we're going to dance in the rain. And you just sit and watch us do some dances for a little bit because this is it. This is the moment and the moment is now. So I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. And so they go out, they start dancing, they start getting crazy, they start just having the time of their lives. And I just like, you know what? Let me put my phone down. Let me pause this movie. Let me just forget about anything else that I could be doing. Because in my head, I'm like, okay, they're outside dancing. Let me, clean up a little bit, or I could go work on some dishes, or I can do whatever. I was like, no. Take the snapshot. So I stood in my doorway, I watched my kids dance in the rain, and I just took those mental snapshots. And I'm still, several days later, thinking about that time. It was awesome. It was really good, and I hope that those snapshots stay in my brain for many years, because now my kids being young, 7 and 8, they're going to grow, they're going to move, they're going to do all their own things, and those moments aren't going to last forever, and those moments aren't going to be around for me to take snapshots of forever. So let me slow down, let me cherish those moments, let me capture those moments, because I know in the long run, I'll be very thankful that I did. So yeah, those are just a few things that I just want to use this Father's Day to think about, to grow in, to put into practice, not even just for the sake of me being a dad and my dad title, but for me as Anthony, as a person who is always growing, always changing, always moving forward with his life. Are you sure that's not Shaq? No, just a squirrel. It's just a squirrel.